Hi, this is Lori from GLP-1 Journey in Review. Today we're doing a video in my interview series where we talk to people about their weight loss journey. Today we have with us Sweet Tea, who is also a content creator. Her information will be linked down below in the description. So after you're done watching this, please go over to her channel, like and subscribe if you find this useful. Please hit that like, smash that subscribe button. It really does help. Put in a comment, put in a question, and if you would like to be interviewed, put it in the comments. I want to remind everybody that I am not a healthcare provider. My guest is not a healthcare provider. This is not intended for medical advice. I strongly urge if you are planning a weight loss journey that you check with your healthcare provider. So, Sweet Tea, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Lori. Lovely to meet you. I'm Sweet Tea, and I know that isn't my legal name. I'm aware of that. I'm actually a singer. I live in Los Angeles, and I use my singer name on the internet. So that's just who I am on the internet. And my actual name is Clarissa Elizabeth, but I go by Sweet Tea. I have a weight loss channel called the Turtle Diaries Weight Loss, and I started that channel last year after being on this amazing GLP-1 journey. And yeah, it's been great. I was just very excited about seeing the results and hopped on the internet, and then I like accidentally became a content creator. So yeah, it's
What
been
an
great.
accident.
Yeah, it's a happy accident for sure.
So, which medication are you on?
So I'm on Tirzepatide. I do a compound version of
Hmm.
Tirzepatide. I did try my very best to get it prescribed to me as a Zepbound and Monjaro. At the time I started my journey, I was at a 6.4 on my A1C level, and so
Hmm.
that was 1 point away from diabetes. And they insisted that I, try other ways of losing weight. I didn't get a full diabetic diagnosis. I couldn't get Manjaro. I couldn't get Wegovy. I couldn't get Ozem. I couldn't get any of it. And so I sort of, after battling with the healthcare system, I had a friend tell me about compounded medications and decided to go that route because it was just, I was finding it impossible for having anyone take me seriously.
I
And
was
I
in
was
the same
suffering,
boat too.
So yeah. So yeah, I did
So
my
how much
best.
weight have you lost?
I have lost 60 pounds. 60 pounds.
Awesome. And in
Yeah.
what period of time?
I started in May, at the beginning of May of 2024, and I was at 280 pounds in at that time. And I am now 220 pounds. And yeah, it's been over a year. I don't know what that math is, but yeah, it's been
Mhm.
over a year. So
How tall
yeah,
are you?
I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6".
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So you decided to go with the compounded tirzepatide. Did you check out your compounding company or?
Yeah, Lori, I've been with a few at this point
Mhm.
in the journey. I don't know if it's okay to say who I'm
Yeah.
using. But I started off with Fridays, which, I mean, honestly, when you're starting your journey, Fridays is a great option because they have, like, they really walk you through it. They have dietitians, they have nurse practitioners. At that time, they were teaching about the medication, which I needed because I had no idea, what to expect. And then I also have been with Mochi. It's
Mhm.
also, and then they went through what they went through, which I don't need to get into here. And then Amble, which honestly is a super hands-off approach. Kind of, once you know the jam and once you are on a consistent dosage, I think Amble's a great option because it's just a computer and you order. So yeah, I'm with Amble now. So yeah.
Okay. And what was your aha moment that made you decide to start a GLP-1 journey?
I had a few. I just to tell you a little bit about my weight loss journey, I have always been heavy. I know there are people who have like gained weight with pregnancies or, gained weight due to something that's happened. Sometimes it's menopause. There's a lot of things, but I was a fat kid, like I started my love for eating when I was like 7, and I think that I emotionally ate for many different reasons, but I have always been heavy, and I was um one of those people that really embraced being a larger woman. I just was like very body positive, but at the same time I always was concerned about my health. So my highest weight and my highest, I was nearly 300 pounds.
Hmm.
But I have done it all. I have done Weight Watchers, Noom. I have done everything. The cabbage soup diet. I've done like, what? My latest and last weight loss journey was in 2018 on keto. I lost
Hmm.
35 pounds on keto, um, and gave up sugar for 8 months, which, that was extreme.
Hmm.
And but worked really well. And then I ate like a few slices of bread one weekend and it was just over from there, So I have really tried many, many different ways of either like trying to keep my weight under control or just try to lose, when I felt like it was getting out of control. So in May of 2024, my mom actually is a diabetic and she had
Hmm.
been on Ozempic for, gosh, 8 months and had lost about 30 pounds, and had gotten her A1C under control. And she was really like, we had a lot of conversations like what's your game plan, because my A1C had been slowly climbing since I was on keto. Actually, keto got my A1C down and controlled,
Hmm.
um, but it had climbed right back up into a dangerous range. She was trying to help me get Ozempic at the time, and yeah, no endocrinologist would even see me unless my A1C was 6.5. So I did see a weight loss doctor at that time, because I was considering lap band, because at 280 I was couldn't really walk because I had a bad knee. I really was suffering daily at that heavy. So my mom, told me about Ozempic, and then my sister also got on those. So they both were on the drugs, and I was watching them, melt away. And my
Hmm.
sister and I, we consistently work out once a week on Saturdays. And so one Saturday, she's like, I think this is really working, and you should figure this out. And so yeah, I got on YouTube and just started digging in, and I think it was Dave on the Pin at that time. He was
Hmm.
like the biggest content creator, him in the Countess of Shopping. And like I just went from there and started to do my own research and found Fridays. And yeah, the rest
Hmm.
is history.
So,
you know?
what made you decide to do Tirzepatide versus the semaglutide, considering your whole family seems to be on Ozempic?
Yeah, my mom didn't have any trouble with Ozempic. She was on a super low dose. I don't think she's ever even gone above a 1.5 milligram dose on Ozempic. But my sister had climbed up to the highest dosage, and she had been very transparent with me about her side effects. I could see she wasn't like she was having nausea. She, she just had all of the Ozempic side
Hmm.
effects. So when I got on the internet and heard Dave talking about Manjaro and the Countess
You seem to be frozen.
think Zepbound was really as popular at that time, but it was on the market, I believe.
Hmm.
And so I heard it was better. I heard that like the side effects were easier. And then I heard it was because it has the dual agonist that there was
Hmm.
more to it. At that point I didn't know the significance of that, but like I was excited. to get like the next generation. Like it's like getting the better iPhone. I was like, I
Absolutely.
want what's better. So I'm still the only one on Tirzepatide. Both my mom and my sister are still on semaglutide.
Have you had any side effects on the Tirzepatide?
I have, but they were super manageable. Even in the beginning, I think my biggest battle has been constipation. That's the only side effect that I had in the beginning, really bad. And then as I got to the higher doses, fatigue. Fatigue became an
Mm.
issue. But yeah, no, I haven't had like any nausea. I never felt like I absolutely couldn't eat. Like I hear that a lot. I've always been able to get food down, but I definitely, my portion sizes are much smaller now.
Absolutely. So, has anybody said anything about your weight loss? Have they noticed?
Oh yeah, yeah. At this point, yes. um, yeah, different points of the journey. I think it's interesting when when you're very heavy. The first 20 to 30 pounds. I don't know that people really say anything. I think I got like a, "Hey, did you change your hair?" And I want to go, "No, I lost 30 pounds." You know what I mean? But I think when I started the Turtle Diaries channel, I was down 30 pounds. It was in the summer. And I had finally started to get people asking me like what was I doing, and I looked great. Um, but it's really hard in the world to navigate talking about the medications. And so I really wanted to find a community, and online was like, I had been watching everyone for months and
Mhm.
in the comments, and this was my community. And so I
Right.
I think talking about it online has been easier than just like even talking about it to friends and family, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Has your weight ever affected either your personal life or your professional life?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I think when at my heaviest, I mentioned I'm a singer.
Hmm.
And when I was very heavy, I'm a great performer on stage, but that requires endurance,
Hmm.
and breath, and I definitely struggled being heavy, and doing that for many years. And then also professionally, I'm in production, and production is on your feet all day. You're not just sitting at a desk.
Right.
And I travel a lot, and I've talked about, even just not having to ask for a seatbelt extender on the airplane being like a major win, you know? And so, yeah, I feel like my life has gotten easier, just on a day-to-day basis outside of looking good or feeling good. It's been transformative to move through a space. People don't really like ignore you as much when you get to
Hmm.
a certain level of weight loss. I know that we don't talk about that a lot, just the social feeling like socially normal
Hmm.
in spaces. Yeah, it's been pretty eye-opening. And from a mental health perspective, shocking, you know, to realize that that bias was like on you as in a larger body, and without
Absolutely.
it, it's been uh, good, but also like, whoa, I've spent my life moving through the world in a certain way, and now things are changing. So yeah, it's been interesting to say the
Now
least.
you mentioned the airlines. Have you read recently that I think it's Southwest Airline is now going to be charging for two seats if they don't consider yourself fitting comfortably in a seat?
Isn't that
What do you think of
awful?
that? That is,
It's
it's like
awful.
fat shaming all over. And again,
I
their
know.
idea and somebody else's idea could be, two totally different things.
Yeah, and it's
It's
like you wanna make money off of people's pain and stuff, like, literally, it's painful, It's painful to even ask for the extender, you know? So
Hmm.
it's yeah, I that's unfortunate. That makes me
Yeah, absolutely. So, are you a goal-oriented person? Do you have weight goals, or have they changed, or do they stay the same?
yeah, I think, okay, so I remember being a teenager and being at a certain weight, you know what I mean? And you're like, that's when I was happy, you know what I mean? So I initially set my goal weight, I mentioned I started at 280. So for me, this has been a 100-pound weight loss goal. Like I really want to get to 180 because that was the weight that I remember being happy, which I know it's an arbitrary number. I might get there and it could change, or maybe before I get
Hmm.
there I'll feel fine, and I don't know, it's just an arbitrary number so that I had, like you said, I have something to work
Right.
towards, you know.
Do you reward yourself? Like, I used to reward myself like every 10 pounds or so with a non-food victory type of celebration. Like,
Oh,
for
cool.
example, I went to the zoo one time, where normally like I'm just too busy, it's
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I do food rewards.
yeah. I'm trying to
You know,
break that habit. Yeah.
I know
I
I
mean, I do
should.
treat myself once in a while, but I'm trying to make it not a reward.
That's probably better for my mental health. I should probably think of like non-food rewards, but I definitely like will treat myself. Like I used to be a huge wine drinker. I don't
Hmm.
know if anyone else has that, but like my dad literally worked at a winery. So he sends me cases of amazing wine. And I have a huge wine collection. And before I started this journey, I was like a 2 glass a night wine person, and it was just a part of my life. Um, and then the GLP-1s made me not at all you want it or need it, So it has just become like a cheap thing because I do enjoy the taste of it and,
Hmm.
all those things, but I
Right.
don't have any cravings for it, which is really strange. Um, but a good like side effect in my mind,
Hmm.
because it's just like, yeah, I realized I was dependent on it, to relax at night and
Hmm.
to, it was like a ritual, and that
Right.
that was affecting my health ultimately. So now if I do lose 10 pounds, I do treat myself to a glass of wine.
You're,
And
you're
and that
allowed.
ritual, yeah, so that's my thing.
Speaking of wine, many people have said that, wine or certain foods taste differently now that they're on this journey. Have you had any foods or beverages that don't taste the same?
Okay, so the wine is fine.
Mhm.
The wine tastes just as
Thank
good as
God.
it always did. I know, thank God. But I used to really love desserts, and I just find them extremely sweet now, and I don't reach for desserts at all, which honestly, like I have a lifelong love of baked goods. And the
Hmm.
fact that like I've heard people say sulfur taste. I've never had that, but it's just the amount of sweetness in foods. I'm like very aware of it now, and I can't handle it. I won't. I can't do sugary foods. It's just off the table.
So, what was your comfort food before the GLP-1 versus after the GLP-1?
Comfort foods, definitely chocolate chip cookies. That
Hmm.
was, I mean, chocolate chip cookies and milk. I don't know, maybe my inner child was just like, that's gonna make me feel better. And then, like, that's my comfort food, desserts. And then my comfort food, like, just I wanna be bad, would be like an In-N-Out burger. We have those here in California, and so
Hmm.
burgers and fries were like the thing. Um, Strangely enough, my cheat treat now, it's just sounds so funny. I do like this parfait, which is like a
Hmm.
20-gram protein yogurt. vanilla
Hmm.
with cut up apples or pears, and then protein granola sprinkled
Hmm.
over it, and then a little bit of, yeah, and it's like a little parfait. I That is my new dessert. Like if I'm gonna do anything dessert level, that is it. And it's really tasty. And then it's like 30
Sounds
grams of
great.
protein. It's like 30 grams of protein too. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's pretty
Absolutely.
good. I can't do that every day, but yeah, like I do that. That's my treat.
So did you take measurements before you started the GLP-1? Or I mean, I made the mistake of not actually taking pictures or measurements until I was several months into it.
Oh, I took pictures. But I did not take measurements either. I took my first set of measurements. Let me see. I have actually a chart.
Hmm.
November of 2024, I took some measurements. So yeah, that was almost 6 months into my journey.
Yeah, so like
Um,
you were like me, I kind of
yeah,
waited a little bit. So what was your biggest non-scale victory so far?
largest non-scale victory.
Or just
Um,
name several if you want, if that's easier.
okay. Yeah, I think my largest non-scale victory, I would say, is I'm a clothes. I love clothes. And so I went into my closet to like get into my skinny jeans. I don't know if ladies
Hmm.
have, I don't know who has,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have skinny jeans. And not only did they not fit, they were too big. So like imagine putting on your smallest pants and they're too big for you. Like that was major. I also I cleaned out my closet and got rid of my larger clothes because I just feel like if I keep them, it's like this mind thing that I could always go back to that weight. And I've definitely like cleaned my closet out for that. Other non-scale victories, honestly, just gosh, and I know a lot of people say this, crossing my legs.
Hmm.
It's so crazy that like I didn't even realize I couldn't cross my legs. And now I just do it without thinking and I feel so happy. When that leg just dangles there, I'm like, "Whoa, that's so cool." So yeah, no, that's one of my other big major crossing my legs. And then also singing. Like I have so much more capacity physically to do what I love. I love to sing and I couldn't it was hard to do that. And now I'm going to a birthday party this weekend and singing a set and I'm excited because I know
Awesome.
I can like get through it without the struggle. So yeah,
That's great. So what does
those
the
are
day
three.
in food look like to you nowadays?
Okay, yeah, no, religiously start my day with a protein coffee. I know that, what do we call them? Proffies online. Yeah,
Profies,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So look at mine is huge. I do a huge jar. It's sad how much coffee. I love coffee and I that was one thing about the journey that I was like, I'm not giving up coffee. Like you could
Me
take
too.
my wine, but you can't have my coffee. you know? So when I heard that people were doing their protein with coffee, it just was a great solution for me. I do like powdered Quest powdered protein every morning in here, and I do collagen peptides in here. So it's just starting the day with like 40 grams of protein, which is awesome. And
Hmm.
then I sometimes, if I'm hungry in the morning, which is rare, but sometimes closer to the shot day, I am hungry in the morning. So I'll do a small breakfast, which that could be oatmeal, because I have found that fiber actually really helps
Hmm.
with the constipation issues. So I'll do a small cup of oatmeal along with my protein coffee. I did that this morning. But most mornings it's just the coffee. And then out for lunch, I will do a chicken Caesar salad or lean turkey in a Caesar salad. That's one lunch that I enjoy. And then, or I'll do salmon. Like I pre-cook salmon every week, um,
Hmm.
and some sort of vegetable. If I want a carb, I'll do like some sweet potatoes with that. And then for dinner, okay, so here's the thing about dinner. It really just depends on which day it is, right? Like the day after the shot, getting 3 solid meals in, I mean, I don't know if anyone else
Mm.
agrees, but it's hard.
It's hard.
So on days after my shot, I'll just do a protein shake for dinner, or a protein bar or something like that with some fruit, or it's just a really small meal. If it's close to my shot day. If it's close to my shot day, I sometimes do like a third solid meal, which will be just like a meat and vegetables. I really stick to meat and vegetables because I think if my carb count gets too high, that's when you start to that's when I personally start to see, like the scale stop moving as quickly. So yeah, I do try to still watch my carbs. I think that's just like keto thinking a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, that's that's honestly helped me. But yeah,
Do you eat
I love
fruits?
I do eat fruit. I do eat fruit. And honestly, I missed fruit. You know,
Hmm.
it's like I love fruit.
I think fruit
Vegetables,
saves me because it takes care of my sweet tooth.
exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. Because of I think that I still get sweet cravings. But again, like I said earlier, if it's too sweet, it's too much. So
Hmm.
fruit is the perfect solution. Mentioned that I'll do that parfait, that fun little
Hmm.
parfait with fruit and granola. That's my sweet treat. And it's not, I mean, I'll do that instead of the third meal sometimes, just for funsies or mix it up. So yeah, that's my typical
So
food day is that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get really personal here. When is your shot day, and are you a tummy, arm, or a leg, or do you rotate?
Oh, oh, this is controversial, Lori. It's crazy because I love watching people's videos because I'm like yelling
Uh-huh.
at the screen, arm is awesome. You know what I mean? Because people like are so divided in the community. The interesting thing is the one thing I'll say about site injections is that I tried my stomach. So, like in the beginning, I really was, let's stick to the stomach. At some point, though, I just, it wasn't, I just, I was feeling side effects with the stomach. And so
Hmm.
someone said, oh, well, try your thigh. I don't think I've done anything but my upper thighs and the back of my arms since I was like 3 months in to this
Hmm.
journey. I do not do my stomach. I just, I don't. I think that is the worst injection site for me on my body. People swear by it. Not my thing. My favorite. Are you a stomach?
I'm a stomach. It's
Really?
Well, first of all, with compound, for me, the arm is a little hard because
Okay.
doing it by yourself. I did
That's
it in
fair.
my leg, and I have pretty skinny legs, so it hurt. And I don't know,
Okay.
because it hurt, I don't know if psychologically I'm like, I can't wait till next shot day. Is this even working? I don't really feel
Yeah.
much. And, according to studies, I mean, it's a super, super small amount, but they do say it gets absorbed a little bit better in your tummy. I mean, only by like 1/100%. It's a very small
Okay.
amount, but
Okay.
so,
And I've
for me,
always
that's the
thought about
easiest.
it. I've always thought that it probably depends on where the fat is on your body,
Hmm.
because I honestly don't have a huge stomach. So I do, we all do, but like, you know,
Hmm.
I have chunky arms. So, there's plenty of real estate here for for the shot. And then my thighs are also pretty chunky. So like I just, yeah, that I put it, I'm like, I think the key is to get it in the fat.
Right.
So, so
And like
yeah,
like I
like
said, the arm, to me, it's a little awkward with the syringe.
it's
Uh, I I do have some actual name brand Manjaro because my wife is a type 2 diabetic, and I'm thinking Saturday I'm going to try my arm because it's a lot easier with a pen. than with the little needle and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's my thought because I haven't tried my arm yet because I do my shot Saturday morning before I go to work, and I'm at work at like 5 in the morning.
Oh,
So
whoa.
getting my wife up to do it, that's never going to happen. I'm being
Yeah.
realistic. So it's
So
something
here's the
I have
arm
to
tip.
figure out by myself.
Can I give you an arm tip?
Yes, please.
I I I wish I could show you. I can kind of. Okay, you get a pillow. You get a
Mm-hmm.
pillow. You put your arm on the pillow and see how your
Mm-hmm.
fat just kind of
Mm-hmm.
sits up on the pillow, and then you boop. That's how
See,
I do my
I'm
arm
always
shot.
thinking like this because this is
This
how I
is
see people
hard
doing
though.
it in
This
the
is
video.
hard because,
And I'm like, how do you
this
make sure
way
the needle's straight and you're not
yeah,
bending it or
this way you're like gotta steady. And if
that's a good
you're
tip.
left-handed, obviously you do it, and it's, if you're right-handed, do it on the side. But
Yeah.
the pillow really works easy. You see how that just sits up there and you
Mm-hmm.
can do it just the same way you do that's just a tip. Just a tip.
That's great. That's a great tip. I'll have
Because
to
I'm like
remember
an
that.
arm evangelist. I feel like the suppression is like really strong in my arms. It's regular in my thighs, but like if I want a strong suppression, the back of my left or right arm are the best. And I think you asked, my shot day is on Friday right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has moved around. I'm not gonna lie to you. I recently had a medical procedure where I had to take 3 weeks off of
Mm-hmm.
Tirzepatide. And so after my surgery, I didn't wait until my next shot day. I just, okay, Friday's the new shot day because this is when I can take it again. So yeah, it's now Friday, but I really love, I think my favorite shot day is Thursdays, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you get your suppression right before the weekend. And then I feel like weekend is where I need to control myself the most. So yeah, my favorite shot day is Thursday. So I think I'm gonna figure out how to move it back one day soon.
Just do it. I talked to somebody today that actually does it every 5 days, a little bit lower
Really?
dose, but that's I think they do five every 5 days, and they said supposedly that comes out to their doctor figured out like a 7.5 dose,
Interesting. Okay. That's interesting
and
because I have read on the Manjaro site that as long as you do it within 5, I think they say 5,
hmm
don't they?
right.
Interesting. Something
So
to think
yeah,
about.
another food for thought there. It's like
Yeah.
I'm on maintenance, so that's really not a big problem for me. But
Are you?
unless I start gaining weight, then then I might have to think about it. But so far, knock on wood, I've
How long have
been
you been on
nine
maintenance? Can I ask?
since January, so like basically
Oh,
9 months.
oh, great. See, now I know, I want to know about your journey. I'm like,
I lost 60 pounds. I started in December of 2023, the
okay.
end of December, like the last week of December. So technically, you could almost say January of 2024. And I hit my goal in the beginning of January, like the first week. My goal changed several times because first I wanted to get to 140, which was my lowest weight as an adult. And then I'm like, well, okay, that's still considered overweight on the BMI chart.
Yeah.
So I want to get to normal, and I got to normal weight, but I was at the high end. So I kind of wanted to get in the middle, which I think was 120. But considering 118 would have been an even 60 pounds, that's what I decided. Okay, I'm
Oh, wow.
happy there.
Well, congratulations. That's
Well, well,
amazing.
thank you.
And that you
Uh,
maintained it is really, because that's the thing about all of us who have struggled with our weight, is keeping it off. And
right.
that's why
Uh,
this is like a miracle. This is a miracle,
Right.
honestly.
And for me, maintenance has been the hardest part because there's
Has it?
guidelines, some of them might not be right. Some doctors move you up every month. Now they're slowly rethinking that, but there really isn't a lot of guidance on maintenance. They're doing studies now, but there's, like, do
Yeah.
you reduce your dose? Some people say you just stay on your highest dose. Some people continue losing even though they're on maintenance. Some people are spreading it out a little further.
Yeah.
There's no real set guidance.
Yeah, I mean, we're technically the pioneers, right?
Right.
So much hasn't been like set up in the system, but I
Right.
guess at this
So
point, just
I
doing
went
what
down
works.
from a 10 to 7.5, and that worked fine. Then I went down to 5, and I started feeling hungry again, so I slowly creep back up to 7.5, and I'm thinking now of slowly going down to 5. You know,
Okay.
haven't totally decided if I'm going to do that or not. I'm thinking of it though, because I figured the less medication, probably the better. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Yeah, I honestly, every time I have thought, even going off for this past 3 weeks, I still get inflammation when I'm not
mhm,
on the shot regularly. And so it's not even, I mean, the weight ticked up by about 5 pounds in those 3 weeks, but it didn't even feel like weight. It felt like water, like on my
mhm,
body, and my joints started to hurt again. So this medicine does like other things,
right,
like I find I'm definitely a lifer. I'm definitely a
yeah.
lifer, you know?
That was gonna be my next question. Me too, as long as
Really?
nothing changes. Have you, read anything or heard anything about the next generation of medication coming out?
I have. I'm not gonna lie, I am chronically online. So
Mhm.
I I follow all of the content creators who are reporting on the next gen drugs, or forglipron
Oh,
and
Froglipron, yeah, or
retatrutide.
the Trupad.
Yeah, all of it's all very exciting. I honestly, as far as myself taking any of those medications is going to depend on when they're available and where I'm at in the journey, you know? I
Mhm,
I think I think at this point I'm going to need something else to get to my ultimate goal. Um so yeah, I'm definitely very very excited and interested on the new generation of stuff.
yeah,
Especially for
so can
maintenance, a pill feels like
right,
amazing.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
not that I'm against shots, it's just, it's super easy to just throw, a pill in your daily pill
yeah,
thing, and, because it doesn't matter, full stomach, empty stomach,
right.
day, night, they say it doesn't matter, so and,
Yeah,
hopefully it'll come
that's
in at a little
exciting.
bit lower cost.
Well, and that too, right? The cost, because even though I think maybe the triple G, I guess we're calling the triple G or GLP,
Mhm.
I think that it really might help me get to my goal. I don't know if I can afford it. So, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm like, I might be on
Have you
Tirzepatide just because of the cost, you know? So
have you considered other peptides or anything to help along with, your tirzepatide? Because that seems to be a big an upcoming fad. Well,
yeah,
maybe
so
not a
I
fad. There is some science behind it, yeah.
yeah, I think so. I pulled up my chart because I'm terrible at dates, but I went up to the highest dose, 15 milligrams in February. So I've been on
Mhm,
15 since February. And my weight has very much slowed. Like I lost the bulk of my weight. I was down 54 pounds on my like anniversary.
mhm,
So, for they tell you get the most amount of weight off in the first year. But
right.
again, I don't know. The doctors didn't seem to really know much when I started taking this, but they were encouraging to, really get the most weight off in the first year. I hit my 1 year and I was 54 pounds and I was on the 15 milligram dose. I've only lost another 6 pounds in 6 months. So my weight has very much slowed. Um, I had some other health issues. I talk about this on my channel, but I just had a hysterectomy due to fibroids. And I discovered that in February, March, when my weight stalled. So I I I'm hoping that taking care of that medical issue and getting back on the right track, my weight will start to move again. But to be honest, it hasn't um, moved very much. I lost what I lost in the surgery, so I lost another
Mhm,
7 pounds after my surgery, post surgery, which got me down to this 60 pound yay. But um yeah, it's been really slow this year. So for me, I do think I'm definitely going to stay on 15. I'm definitely going to continue the journey, but I am excited about a new generation of drugs that, might be able to help me more, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I've been listening to some of the obesity specialists are saying that they are now considering some of the diet pills along with the GLP-1 for people that are stuck or
Yeah.
at maximum time or whatever. So, you know,
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't you asked me about other peptides. I have tried lipo C, a lipo,
hmm
which is I don't know. I know what's in them, but like I can't really say it's more of a supplement. It's not a peptide. And I was considering NAD, but
hmm
I was dealing with this other health issue, so I haven't
right.
dove into that yet. But I'll tell you one thing, the MIC, the lipo C MIC did help with energy and fatigue. So I took it for 2 months and before my surgery and before things, and the fatigue and the energy was incredible. Honestly, the fatigue a few days after the shot is really what I still struggle with, and like so helpful with that. So I probably will get back on a lipo mix supplement. I haven't
hmm
tried any other peptides. Um, I'm considering it. I'm considering it.
I'm starting my NAD journey probably the beginning of next week.
Are you? Ooh,
Adding
I have
that,
to
yes.
tune in to hear how it's going.
It's-
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I figured why not give it a try for a couple months, you know. Worst that could happen is, I'll be out a couple $100, but
Right. Right.
it,
Yeah.
it could have a lot of benefits. So,
Yeah, I think most of us who have been on this for several years, I had a lot of skepticism in the beginning, obviously, but all of that is, I mean, gone. Like I think that
hmm
this is revolutionary. It's going to change healthcare, and so I'm on board to. I'm a lot more adventurous now. You know,
Do you
in my
work out along with your healthier eating habits?
Yeah, so I have always been a person who exercises, even when I was large. I do hit cardio with my
hmm
sister on Saturdays. That's kind of just a routine. We started during COVID. Um, oh, I hope I don't you can bleep that out. I don't know if you're supposed to say that word on the
It's
internet,
okay.
but we started in 2020 with just like a pretty hardcore workout routine on Saturdays together in a group. So I do that regularly. And then I think with the GLP-1, it's helped me to be more consistent, right?
hmm
So I do a hit cardio with her on Saturdays, and then twice a week I do a YouTube strength training workout
hmm
with Mr. and Mrs. Muscle sometimes. And then there's also a couple called Juice and Toya, who they're great. And they have like strength training YouTube workouts. And then I
Awesome.
also have a walking pad in my house, and I was up to 10,000 steps a day before my surgery. I'm back up to 5, so now I've got to climb climb back up to
You'll get
10.
there.
Yeah, but I'm recovering. But yeah, I believe walking is the best thing for slimming. Like if you're still in weight loss mode,
hmm
everything changed when I became more consistent with my walking, for sure. And then
Absolutely.
the strength training, I think, is just something you need to do to maintain
hmm
muscle. But I also find like those YouTube videos like super fun. Like they're just a good time. There's good music, you're kind of dancing. So yeah, like I'm not a gym girl. I don't like the gym, but yeah, in my house with in my own environment, I love it.
Let's quickly talk about food noise. I didn't
Oh,
even know what it was before GLP-1. Did you have experiences with food noise?
I didn't know what that was I didn't hear about that either until I started looking online. But I will say this. The first dose that I took was, obviously the 2.5 dose. Um, I had a friend in town. She's like definitely the friend I eat with. You got those friends, right? And so she was in town, and we were just hanging and doing our regular thing, and went to a restaurant, and I couldn't eat. I was like, "Oh, whoa. Wait." And it was the first week I had taken the shot. And I was like, "Whoa." And then I realized sitting at the table that I actually hadn't eaten all day.
Hmm.
And there has never been one day in my life where I hadn't planned out. I have never missed a meal. Do you hear me? Like, I have never accidentally skipped lunch. That has not ever happened in my whole life. Um, and so I was shocked and spent the entire meal having a conversation with her like, this is crazy. And so I think that I realized I had food noise when I didn't have it anymore,
Hmm.
and it's
Same here.
almost like the way that my brain worked changed. And I was shocked and in tears, and also like, whoa, is this how skinny people live? I just really was so affected by it. Um, and then obviously, I knew it was time to go to 5 milligrams when suddenly it kind of creeps back in on you, and you're like, oh, wait, now I know what that is because
Hmm.
I spent my life with you. You're someone I know very well. And so whenever he shows up, I'm like, I know you, So then I moved to the 5 milligram dose. So I'm not one of those people who confuses hunger with that guy, because that guy is like a whole thing. Whereas hunger is just
Hmm.
like, I feel weak, I feel tired. Oh, wait, I should eat. That's in my body. But the food thing is like a criminal that I am so like that ruled my mind forever. So he's like
Hmm.
very familiar to me. I don't know why he's a guy. I don't know. But it's just like I know him. And so yeah, it's been life changing to not have him like on my shoulder, gnawing away at me. And that's like really changed everything not to have that as a constant, you know, it's amazing.
Why don't you tell us about the Turtle Diaries?
The Turtle Diaries. Yeah, thank you. The Turtle Diaries is like my little love spot. I love I love my channel. I love the community that I fostered there. It's called the Turtle Diaries because at the time I started the channel, there were just so many comments from people who were just like, I'm not losing weight. I'm only losing a half a pound a week. And oh my God, I've only lost 13 pounds in 2 months. And so the online chatter was like complete freak out, right?
Hmm.
Over, comparing yourself to people who were hyper responders, right? And so I hopped online, and I think at that point I had lost 30 pounds. So I think I started my channel in August of 2024. I have to look that up. Um, but I had lost 30 pounds in a in in a good amount of time. I think I was in my like 22nd, third week, right? Which means I was losing a pound and some change a week. I wasn't
Hmm.
losing 7, 8 pounds a month or anything like that, but I was losing,
It's
and it
average.
was staying off. It was an average kind of boring weight loss. And I got online just to tell people like, hey, I'll take average and boring any day. Like, I
Hmm.
know that if it comes off slowly, that's cool. It took me a very long time to put it on, you know? So I just was trying to kind of be this like, it's definitely not like a medical advice channel. It isn't like a news channel. It's just like an encouragement on your journey channel. I talk to people about just slow, steady weight loss. I've highlighted, I
Hmm.
think my highest viewed video is, "Hey, why are you losing so slow?" And I give some really practical reasons as to why, which is it could be your age, it could be your comorbidities, which are other things that you're dealing with in your body. It could be, I just kind of go through like what could be the cause of slow weight loss. But outside of all of those reasons, you're still losing weight, dude. Be happy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, that's what the channel has been. I, you know, I have my faithful people who always come and comment. And then sometimes there's new people like, oh, I'm so glad I found your channel. This is super helpful. I thought something was wrong with me. And I'm like, no, nothing is wrong with you. Just it sometimes it takes time, and I think that I'm a real good example of that. I haven't reached my goal and it's been over a year, but I'm creeping towards it, and it's never completely stopped, and it's never
Hmm.
not continued forward. You know what I mean? So I know, hey,
Absolutely.
if it takes me 3 years, it takes me 3 years. Like I'm fine with that, you know? Because it took me a lifetime to put it on, and I'm okay with it being slow. So I encourage people. I'm a singer, so I usually do like a song at the end of the video just to, hey, it's gonna be
Mm.
okay. And then I like sing a little song, so that's my channel. I love doing it. I need to be more consistent at posting, admittedly. Since I've been having these health problems, I haven't been as consistent, but I'm working on it, Lori. I'm definitely working on
Mhm.
it.
Absolutely. It's like you mentioned turtles, and people tell me that all the time, like, I'm not losing weight, I must be at a stall. I'm like, well, tell me about it. And then, well, I'm only losing like half a pound to quarter pound a week. I'm like, so you are losing weight. It's just not fast enough, huh?
Right. Yeah, and I don't get that. I think it's just always say comparison is the thief of joy. Like,
Hmm.
if you look at someone who's down in 3, 4 pounds a week, that's gonna be discouraging to you, and, like, that's not what you should be doing. Like, you gotta celebrate your
Right.
own wins. You do.
And there's just so many different, reasons, males lose quicker than females.
Yeah,
If you have more to lose, you're going to lose it quicker. Time a month for certain females, a whole bunch of
right.
different factors. Thyroid, whether you're a type 2 diabetic, there's
Yeah.
just so many factors.
So many factors, hormones. I have high blood pressure and I'm on high blood pressure medication. People with heart conditions. There's so many reasons. And I think we got to give ourselves grace. And
Absolutely.
across all of these subsects of people, if you look at it, we're all losing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We're all losing something.
So
So,
speaking of high blood pressure and other comorbidities, you said that your A1C was high. Has it gone down? Has your blood pressure gone down at all? Have you had any other comorbidities? Was your cholesterol fine?
yeah, so I started when I was 280, my A1C was 6.4. 6.3 recorded, but I knew it got up to 6.4. And my last blood test was, oh yeah, when I had the surgery just now, they did my blood test, and my A1C was 5.2. Yeah, so it's come down considerably. I'm not even in like a pre-diabetic range anymore. My cholesterol, I was at total cholesterol 240. I'm at 180. So it's out of
Great.
the range. I do still take blood pressure medication, but I haven't had a high reading in a year. A year. So my blood pressure is completely regulated. My doctor's a little like, yeah, no, but we usually just keep people on that medication. And to be honest, like I mentioned, I still do have inflammation,
Hmm.
so I think that the blood pressure medication it also acts like a water pill for me. So I still do take it. And then on top of that, I'm in perimenopause and I was suffering from fibroids. So I just recently had a surgery. I had a hysterectomy to correct that. Um, And I think at this point, yeah, like to your point, the hormone thing is a juggle. And so I'm
Hmm.
looking at starting HRT next month. And so, I would love to get into the peptide game, but I also have to see how the HRT treats me,
Absolutely.
along with Tirzepatide. And then once I know what that does, I can start to incorporate some other things. But so, yeah, to your point, I was a whole mess. You know what I mean? And so now this is like, it's not just weight loss. It's like, what other things do I need to like actually heal and be healthy? And it's just proven that this drug is a longevity drug. And so
Absolutely.
anyone, we got to be in it for the long haul, in my opinion, because I know there are people who are only planning to take it when they need to and then get off of it, but that's just not my plan. That's not my plan.
Speaking of staying on it, like they're showing now that people are their liver disease is like reversing, that you have like a 15% less chance of getting Alzheimer's if you're on a
I
GLP-1.
heard that. Yeah.
It's heart disease, is your chances are less, and even just living longer increases if you're on a GLP-1. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on some of those off-label uses?
Off-label uses, I think you just have to be careful. I mean, are we talking about like gray market peptides?
No, no, we're talking like,
No.
using it to treat like, for liver disease, which, studies are showing that it's
Yeah.
effective, heart disease, like I said, Alzheimer's prevention, that type of thing, not gray market.
So yeah, honestly, I don't know how to tell people that this drug is more than weight loss because of the
Hmm.
dialogue around surrounding it. Everyone, even our president called it a fat shot. So it's hard to
Hmm.
convince people that it's good for other things as well, you know? And so, but I mean, my experience is that it's been a whole body healing, not just the weight.
Hmm.
Obviously, I've told you my other numbers have reduced. So I know I'm at less risk for heart disease now. So it's just a hard conversation to have with people, but I do believe that this is a scientific breakthrough, and like it's going to help with, sleep apnea and all sorts of other things. It's hard to talk about it, with people
Do,
because they just see it in such a light,
right.
It's
Do you
unfortunate.
think people like Serena Williams are going to help with the bad stigma?
I mean, the thing about I think it's awesome that she came forward the way that she did, because I think other celebrities have just n- like done a disservice to it.
Hmm.
Um, because for her, with her being a professional athlete and needing the help, I think that says a lot. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, it also depends on how people feel about Serena Williams. So, you know I think there needs to be other people coming forward and talking about how it's helped them. I think that she's a good start. But I have a bit of a marketing background, and I think people need to see someone that they personally relate to, right? On a fundamental level, talk about how it's helped them. And I think that's why it's great. We have all of these different content creators with
Hmm.
different backgrounds and different experiences talking about the medicine, because ultimately you need to find someone who you relate to talk to you about this. And so, yeah, I think that's why the content creator game is incredible, because it's usually you got to find your people, you got to find
Absolutely.
someone you relate to. Yeah, but it's a
So
start.
what do you think we could do to get rid of this bad stigma?
I think that, honestly, I think the only people that I've convinced are just my closest, loved ones and friends, and then anyone who follows me on YouTube. So I think we have to get really super healthy and live long and be the examples, of what it looks like to become a person in a healthier, more whole body. And then I think people get curious, well, tell me more, and like, how did you do it? And so I think that's the only way, is just to continue to share your journey with other people,
Right.
no matter how they react to it. Likely if they have some sort of health scare, they might call you later to find
Now,
out
now I have
more.
certain ideas on price. Like, my opinion, if Blue Cross, United Healthcare, Cigna,
Oh
and
yeah.
all them got together and actually went to Nova Nordisk and Eli Lilly and said, "Hey, 300, that's what we're going to pay. We're huge numbers." Group buying, I think, is one of the answers. What do you think could possibly bring prices down?
Ah, wow. I don't I don't even pretend like I know the answer to that. I think that, again, I have to come from just the knowledge that I have as a person who's been in marketing.
Hmm.
You just need the hot new thing on the street, right? So I think once Retatrutide comes out, and orforglipron, and like these other more in demand drugs, then we'll see the price of Tirzepatide, and semaglutide hopefully come down, because they'll be in less demand. But I can't call it, because this market is so huge
Hmm.
for the drugs. I think there'll always be an audience for semaglutide. I think there will always be an audience for Tirzepatide. So it's kind of like predicting something you've never seen before. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a breakthrough, and it's
Hmm.
going to continue to be a breakthrough probably for the next decade. So it's hard to call it. I agree with you though. Under $300 is where we need to be. Like if
Hmm.
they even bring it within like a $30 to $50 range of what we pay on compound, that
Hmm.
would solve a lot of problems, for just the average.
Even if they brought it down to what compounding was, I mean, that would, one, get
Yeah,
rid of compounding,
right.
uh, and be a major step.
Totally.
And speaking of prices going down, I thought when they had the most favored nations, um, uh, I forgot what you call it, where the president signs it's not actually a law. I never in a million years thought that they would just raise the prices in the other countries. I was thinking like, oh yeah, we're gonna kind of like meet in the middle, yeah.
I know. And that's why I can't call it. It's like you think there might be a win, and then it's just not at all. The market does
Hmm.
something completely different. So I think, yeah, I'm keep continue to follow, Dave, Man on Manjaro, and
Hmm.
I love Round Mound Zetbound. I think you interviewed
Right,
him. So
he's
yeah,
great. Uh-huh.
I just follow
I'm
these guys.
interviewing Dave tomorrow.
Are you? Oh,
Yes.
congratulations. I love him. Tell him I said hi. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. His journey, I'm so glad he started to share his journey, because like,
Hmm.
he's gone through so much, and like glad that he's had this as a healing tool, So, yeah.
So what would Sweet Tea today tell Sweet Tea just about to start GLP-1 medication? What advice would you give her?
Oh, what advice would I give her? Be patient with yourself. I would say be patient, and I would say it's all going to be worth it. Tune out the noise that you're hearing from other people, and just, keep going forward. I think I've had a slow journey, but like, don't give up, don't get discouraged, and start the
Hmm.
YouTube channel. That's what I told her.
Speaking
Yeah.
of YouTube channels, I want to remind everybody that Sweet Tea's channel will be linked in the description. And please go over to her channel, like and subscribe. Any last things you want to say?
Can I sing you a quick little song?
That's what I was going to say. Could you have a song for us to leave with?
Yes, in the words of the amazing Queen of Soul, because you make me feel like a natural woman. Queen of Soul, Aretha.
Thank you for
Aretha.
giving me time. Thank you for the song. It's been a pleasure. And with that, I'm gonna say we're out.
Yay. Thank you, Lori. Nice